public participation, and thank you everybody for coming. Here you are. And I think last night I attended the Fair Board meeting. I've been to planning and zoning meetings. I've been attending Bonner County Commissioner Board meetings. And what is apparent to me is that we have room to improve in how we are operating as boards and commissions. And to go back to my point that I bring forward, I think that we need to look at our processes, and we need to have uniform processes as much as possible, not only for those of us as members, but also for those volunteers that we have asked to step forward into a difficult job, which occasionally there may be members of the public who might be frustrated with the actions that are taken. They might be very engaged because they might have decades of experience working with these issues. It even goes to the point where there is generations of people that have walked this ground and have made these points. And so what I would like to advocate today and have a discussion about is to set forth a training program so that we can get not just the Board of County Commissioners, but the Fair Board and the Planning and Zoning Board operating in a manner that serves the public, as I believe is our duty. And as such, I have talked with Mauricio Cardona from Davalier Law to create a program so that we can be more professional and serve the public better. With that, I would turn it over to Mauricio to have a conversation with us.
I actually have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Do we have on the agenda a presentation from a third-party law firm?
For the discussion decision item.
Is it on the, do we have a presentation? I mean, we have to, when you, it is within.
We'll go back to a point of order, and do you have a comment that you could add?
Well, I'd like to
this
finish what I was going to
discussion?
say, because you did recognize me, and I did follow that procedure. In terms of when you're going to talk about board training, it's disingenuous if you circumvent what our money has already paid for, which is our county prosecutor, and this continues to happen in this county. I don't agree with a third-party attorney presenting and being contracted based on your statement to develop some type of training when our money paid for our prosecutor's office to do that. And so this is an inappropriate item that, when I saw it, I didn't know what you were referencing, but the fact that you've already reached out to a third-party attorney, how did you make the decision to hire somebody? You contracted him and he...
I don't believe that decision's been made.
What he just said is that he worked with Davalier to develop a training program. Did I hear that wrong, or is that a...
I believe
Yes,
he
he did it
spoke
for free.
with him, he didn't, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
You may.
I believe that I have no authority to enter under a contract without any type of board action. I have spoken with our prosecuting attorney, and I brought forward this idea before I mentioned it, with the specific reason being I would like our prosecuting attorney to focus on prosecuting criminals. I have focused, as I have made in my statement, multiple times, and that will remain my focus. And to be quite honest, the allegations that I have made any type of behavior where I broke my oath, well, that has yet to happen, and I don't think it will. Yes, I had a conversation with Mr. Cardona, and I have agendized it. I have spoken with our prosecuting attorney. It is on our agenda, and I would actually like for our agenda to continue as presented, and for Mr. Cardona to present the information to the board, so hopefully we can make a decision. And then as a board, we will see if in a republic we get a majority to agree or disagree, because I believe that's how the process works.
I believe you're circumventing other elected officials, which is diametrically opposed to your specious argument of bringing everybody together. So, Sheriff, He's an elected official, I'm an elected official, treasurer is an elected official. So if you truly want cohesion amongst the board, this wouldn't be an impromptu presentation from a third-party attorney. And I will note that more than once you said, my agenda, I. This is a board. It is 3 of us, and the interest is not in I. My job is to represent the people, which is to represent what they want to see. How can you possibly put your ideology of board training before their request for inclusion, transparency, and communication amongst this board? So it's a wasted effort to even talk about this idea of training with a third party, because that is our prosecutor, and quite frankly, if he can't fulfill that function, they need to know that, because we're elected officials.
Mr. Chairman, may I respond? The Board of County Commissioners makes votes, and I am keen to avoid open meeting law violations. I believe that we've had a policy before us twice so far talking about open meeting violations. I believe that this morning that there were allegations of open meeting law violations. And yes, I personally am trying to avoid open meeting law violations, which is why I have not discussed this with Chairman Bradshaw, and I have not discussed this with you, Commissioner Williams, because I have this crazy idea that if I do, I'm violating open meeting law violations, which is why I have presented it in an open meeting, why I have asked Mr. Cardona to make that presentation, so then as a board, we can make the determination of what we are going to do. I do not speak for Chairman Bradshaw. I'm pretty sure I don't speak for you. And I have one vote. So what I would like is for Mr. Cardona to present his information to the board. We consider it as a body, and we make a determination of whether or not we decide if we think that is good for the county.
Okay, did you invite all the board members from these respective boards and all the elected officials to hear his presentation? Are they here?
If the Board of Commissioners was to decide to
'Cause we
adopt
can
that
require-
training, then we would bring in all the board
You're
members.
saying the board can
But
tell
until
the
then-
sheriff what his training schedule
Okay,
is?
Ms. Williams, we're going back to the point of question.
Mr. Chairman, could we have Mr. Cardona present what he's developed?
Mr. Cardona, you have a comment.
Thank you. Mauricio Cardona, President of Sandpoint. So to answer the question, we have not built anything to develop the proposal. This is just a proposal to develop the training. What we are proposing is to design and provide a training program that enables Bonner County public boards to conduct effective public meetings.
Can you speak up a little bit, please?
Yes. To design and provide a training program. Sorry. Oh, I didn't. Let's start over. To design and provide a training program that enables Bonner County public boards to conduct effective public meetings and limit potential liabilities. The program we are proposing will be based on the current version of the county ordinances under Title I, County Operations, Chapter 2, Board of County Commissioners meetings. We will also be using some basic Robert's Rules of Order. Then, once we develop the program, we'll be getting feedback and direction from the Board of County Commissioners for any further implementation should that be desired. In the initial phase, we will evaluate the law and how the meetings have been conducted and how to make things more accessible. There will be an outline of the rules for public meetings created. This will be a simple reference guide of the rules drafted to be published for the public so that both the public officials and the public are aware of what the rules of the meetings are. There will also be a concise explanation of the authorities that are granted to the chair of each one of the boards and a flow chart so that the public knows in what step of the process we are. All of these is created to allow for more efficiency of the communications. We will also offered to train a selected staff person to be a parliamentarian for the meetings, so that there is a neutral party who is able to answer procedural questions. Part of the training will also involve role-playing exercises to cement the understanding of the just discussed deliverables. At the end of this first phase of the training, we will come back to the board and see if there are any desired changes to the way our ordinances are currently amended. And if so, we will provide a report to the elected prosecutor for their opinion. That will then go to the board. Once we finish that stage and we have the full feedback of the commissioners, we will go into full deployment. That will be getting a list of the other boards within the county that the county commissioners will like to go through a similar process. At the end of that, we will be developing the same kind of deliverables so that they can be published by those particular boards, specifying the rules, the procedures, and a flow chart to help everybody participate effectively. That is what we are proposing to develop for the county commissioners.
How much?
Yeah. I have a question.
Where's it stop?
So I want to make a comment. So it is the obligation of these board members to understand how to run their meeting, not at the cost of taxpayer money. And if they don't know how to do that, that is independent research that they should be conducting on their own dime, not on county money. What I am hearing is an attempt to circumvent who we elected as our prosecutor in that office. They are not our human resources department. They are not our county prosecutor. We need to restore the order and respect elected officials for the positions that they hold and stop looking to outside agencies to fulfill that gap. If we, for example, have an issue with being able to conduct the meeting correctly, if we can't remember when we're supposed to say public comment first, second, and motion, that is an independent thing that if somebody wants to go and hire their own attorney on their own money, not using my money, and I sure am not going to support that from the perspective of Bonner County residents, because you didn't elect the right person if that's what your money's being spent on. As we listen to people talk about the needs of our children, I am not in support of hiring something when your money is already paying for the man outside of this building right now to do absolutely everything that was just described. It is not a genuine request for training. It is a way to undermine those who are elected. And that has been the problem in this county for years. And we need to stop that right now at the cost. You don't need to tell these people the meeting. You told them they can't say anything anywhere. So what is the rule? What are we going to write? Here's where you cannot speak over and over again? No. Maybe if we were going to let them say something once or twice for more than 12 minutes, but no. You guys keep slamming the door on the community and then thinking that this board, because they're going to vote together, controls you. It only works if you comply, whether you're a taxpayer or an employee in this county building.
Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared to make a motion.
Public comment?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I'm prepared to make.
You all know?
Excuse me, Chair recognizes Commissioner Ahmed at this time. Be respectful of that.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to engage Davalier Law to design and provide Mr. Chairman, again, I make a motion to engage Davalier Law in the designing and provision of a training program that enables Bonner County public boards to conduct effective public meetings and to limit public liabilities and to create a contract and send it to legal for review.
He doesn't remember to step down, second the motion, so you guys can talk.
Do we have a second? Okay, I will at this time step down from the chair and make a second. And the reason I'm going to make that second is because we would not be having this discussion. I will clear this room in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I will clear this room. Okay? We will follow order. No ifs, ands, or buts. We good with that?
No.
Well, then you may leave if you wish. But at this moment, I'm going to speak. Had all three commissioners went to the training that you paid for, this would not be an issue. So at this time, I will step down from the chair and second that. And then he can propose what he proposes. Legal can look at it. Then it'll come back forward and we'll decide.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to address your comment.
But it's costing my money.
And
I would like to address your comment, so I want to be clear.
Mr. Chairman,
I
point of order.
attended,
We have,
point of order doesn't give you the opportunity to tell me I can't speak, so I'm going to
No,
push
it
through
doesn't.
this.
okay,
Point of
I'm going
order.
to call to
So-
the point of question then.
So, I attended the annual conference for which wasn't reimbursed. Did you sign up for a mentor, either of you, in the IAC? I signed up for a mentor. I've attended more courses from the Idaho Association of County. So the comment of Mr. Bradshaw saying that we all could have attended, I've attended more than he has. I participate with
Mr.
Government
Chairman.
Finance
Really?
Office.
Mr. Chairman,
Really?
I would,
Mr.
I've been going
Chairman,
for 4 years.
I don't know,
Mr. Chairman.
and you still can't get me.
Mr. Chairman, I would call a point of order. There is a motion on the floor, and there has been a second. We would go into discussion afterwards, according to procedure. And I think this kind of proves the reason why I believe that we should be doing so.
It's incendiary comments that make people have to push their agenda through. That's what you're doing. You continue to push these people out, we can't be held to following the rules that you guys will not follow. That's how it works.
Mr. Chairman, we have a motion, we have a second. I believe that according to the rules, according to our ordinances, that we have a process. And last time I checked, this is a republic.
Yes, ma'am. We'll go into public comment.
Thank you, Chairman Bradshaw.